from the break. In our News in Focus segment today, we shall interact with the project manager and some advocates of the She Leads project of Plan International Ghana.
Every girl can be cool. Every girl can be cool. Every girl can be smart.
She leads and we gain. A girl who dreams is a woman with vision. Who she is not what they say. 'Cause she keeps on going every day. Oh girl, you can, you can, you can. Oh, I am so you can, you can, you can. Give a girl a chance, a chance, a chance. Oh, I am so you can, you can, you can. Yeah,
Every little thing she do, always gonna make it through. Yeah, yeah. Every little thing she do, always gonna make it through. Yeah, yeah. Every little thing she do, always gonna make it through. Yeah, yeah. Every little thing she do, always gonna make it through. Yeah.
Never gonna give up the fight. A superwoman, do you see her? Every day, every night. Oh, she was born a leader. Never gonna give up the fight. A superwoman, do you see her? Every day, every night. Oh, girl, you can. You can. Yeah, yo. Oh, I am so you can. You can. Oh, by your face. Give a girl a chance. A chance. Yeah, yo. Oh, I am so you can. And go in the end.
Every little thing she do, always gonna make it through. Yeah, yeah. Every little thing she do, always gonna make it through. Yeah, yeah. Every little thing she do, always gonna make it through. Yeah, yeah. Every little thing she do, always gonna make it through. Yeah.
She leads and we gain. A girl who dreams is a woman with vision. Who she is not what they say. 'Cause she keeps on going every day. Oh girl, you can. You can. Yeah, yo. Oh, I am so you can. You can. Oh, by your face. Give a girl a chance. A chance. Yeah, yo. Oh, I am so you can. And go in the end.
As part of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, the fifth is to achieve gender equality and to empower all women and girls. Here with us today on the In Focus segment is the project manager of the She Leads project of Plan International Ghana, Mrs. Anna Nabre, and she's here to converse with us and to tell us all about their project. Also joining the conversation will be two highly dedicated advocates of this project, and they are Patience Ntie and Awuntemi Wepe Akolaga. My name is Comfort Antiteteria, and I will be your lovely host. Without wasting much time, we will get right into the conversation. You are welcome to the In Focus segment here on Joy Learning TV. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much, and I want to extend my greetings to your listeners and viewers out there. Thank you.
All right. So we'll get right into the conversation. Kindly tell us about your organization.
Thank you very much. Plan is an independent development and humanitarian organization that advances children's rights and equality for girls. Globally, we are working in about 85 countries. In Ghana, we have presence in almost all the regions, but with much focus in Oti and Northeast region. We have been working in Ghana for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
For a just well that advances children's rights and equality for girls. And we will continue to work until we are all equal.
All right. That's very, very inspirational. What is the She Leads project?
The She Leads project is a 5-year project funded by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It is designed to give voice to girls and young women and promote their activism. And this is being supported by increased acceptance of positive gender norms.
Okay.
And we are also working towards meaningful participation of girls and young men in decision making and leadership at all levels.
All right.
So basically that is what the She Lead project is about, to ensure that girls and young women are given enough spaces to participate in decision making and in leadership.
Okay. Who are some of the partners involved in this project?
Geographically, and we work in 9 countries.
Okay.
It's not only in Ghana here. So in West Africa, we have Ghana, Mali, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. In East Africa, we have Uganda, Ethiopia, and Kenya. And then in Middle East, we are also implementing the She Lead project in Lebanon and Jordan. And in Ghana, some of the partners that are involved in the implementation of the She Lead, if you listen to the way we pronounce it, we say She Lead Consortium.
Okay.
That means that it's made up of not more than one organization. So we have Plan International Ghana, Defense for Children International Ghana, and their partners. And then in Ashanti region in particular, the project is being implemented by one of the consortium organizations, that is Defense for Children International. Then when you come to Northeast, where Plan International is implemented with our implementing partner, the implementing partner there is Sontara.
Okay.
And then we are also implementing the She Lead in Upper West region. And that is a plan and is being facilitated by a local implementing partner called Community Aid and Rural Development. That is not all. In Volta region, we are implementing the She Lead project, and the consortium partner there is Hope for Future Generation. And when you come to Central region, we have another consortium organization called Women Aspire Network. So these are the consortium organizations, or the organizations that has come together to implement She Lead in Ghana.
Okay. Okay. So you mentioned some regions, the Northeast region, Central region, and Volta. What has been the impact so far of this project in those regions?
The impact of the project is, there are many, so tremendous. Within the 4 years of the implementation, we've seen a lot of changes, but I want to focus on the changes within the schools.
Okay.
And even within the community. So the She Lead, the focus is about ensuring that girls are interested in leadership.
Okay.
We are advocating and encouraging girls to take up leadership role. So the She Lead clubs in the school, the mentors, they work with these girls, and we are seeing that girls are beginning to think about leadership. That consciousness, alertness that there is a need for them to also participate in leadership is what we are recording now. And in most of the schools now where we are implementing the project, when you go there, you can see that girls are now taking over male-dominated leadership.
Oh, wow.
You remember before, we have senior prophet position always reserved for the boys.
Yes.
But now girls are contesting. Those days when girls are given the opportunity even to contest, they will not do. But now they've seen the need, and we have some schools registering girls as senior prophets for the school. But before that, we used to have girls prophets. We used to have girl prophets. Why are we doing all these things? We are encouraging girls to take up leadership because we are thinking about tomorrow.
Okay.
Today, the gap is there. We have few women that are participating in leadership role, especially in political leadership.
Yeah, even in Parliament.
In Parliament,
Yeah.
exactly. What we have currently attests to what I am saying. So we are looking at in 10, 15 years to come, where we have these girls that when they are given the opportunity, they will be bold and confident enough to step in and occupy these positions.
Okay.
So that is about the school level. Coming to the community level, we have identified challenges that girls and young women are facing and how we can address them. And we have been doing that with the religious and traditional leaders, and we are seeing some improvement. You know, there are a lot of traditions, there are a lot of practices that do not help the development of girls.
Yes.
So through our engagement with traditional religious leaders, we are able to address some of these traditional beliefs that put girls at the back, that prevent girls from even going to school, staying in school. You know, education is all that girls need to be confident, bold, and take up the leadership roles that we are talking about. So working with the community people, we are able to address some of these negative gender norms that prevent the participation of girls and young women. And we are also supporting these girls to do their own activism. As you can, later on you see, some of these girls are bold enough to advocate for issues that are affecting them. And in one of the programs, they were bold enough to say that, look, election is drawing near. We know that political leaders, they normally include general issues, but can they be a bit specific? So these girls have come out with a policy proposal. They were bold enough to say that NDC, NPP, can you consider these issues that we have? We want you to address. So maybe later in the interview, you'll be speaking to them and you get to know how bold and how confident these girls have evolved through the She Leads project.
All right. All right, that's very impressive. Before we hear about the policy proposals, are there any final words you would want to say?
So thank you very much. My final word is that the girls, they have good ideas. We have intelligent girls out there. We only need to create the opportunity for them. We only need to create the spaces for them. And what these girls are coming to share with us, it doesn't mean that we are saying that political parties, they are not doing well. They are not promoting the interests or working to solve the issues, the challenges that are facing girls. But we are saying that, can they be a bit intentional? Can they be specific when they are trying to address the issues? The senior high policy, for example, that has given so much access, created access for girls and young women to go to senior high. Yes. It's a good policy. But we are thinking, I don't want to say what the girls will be saying, but we are thinking that it comes with a lot of challenges for girls and young women. In their second phase, in their 2024 manifesto, would they be particular in addressing some of the challenges that girls are facing? The sanitary pad issue. Yes. So in brief or in conclusion, I would say that the political parties, they are doing their best, but we think that there is still more that has to be done to alleviate the suffering and the challenges that girls and young women are facing in Ghana. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much for making time to be here with us today. We just interacted with the project manager of the She Leads project of Plan International Ghana, and we are here to interact with an advocate for the project, Patience Ntie, and she's here to tell us all about their policy proposals for political parties, especially in this period of elections when they are coming up with their manifestos. And so we will get right into the conversation. Hi. Hello. Kindly introduce yourself.
All right, so I'm Patience Ntie, a youth advocate with She Leads in the area of sexual reproductive health rights and responsibilities. So I am a moderator when it comes to issues of reproductive health, a peer educator, a facilitator.
Kindly tell us about your policy proposal.
All right, so the policy proposal is just something brief, targeted at speaking to political parties and politicians to put the needs of girls and young women first, or young people first when they come into power. Yes. So they've already laid down some of the things they would do. That was the last 4 years, that was the election. But there are certain key things they've not touched on, and we believe that as young people, we should be able to communicate with them and then also tell them what we want as young women and young girls. Okay, okay. So we are going to get into the specifics. Yes. Kindly take us through what exactly you would want to have political parties include in their manifestos. All right, thank you so much. We are looking at telling political parties or the government to implement proposed activities that target young girls when it comes to STEM. We all know that STEM education is the new normal. Yes. Science, technology, education, and mathematics. I mean, we are all happy when we see young girls out there doing well in the National Science and Maths quiz. So we are calling on government to introduce and then promote that as well. It's already in the system, but we are calling on them to promote that as well. And also look at giving them specialized training. I believe with the right training, young people will be able to take up STEM, and then also provide incentives for schools who are already doing that. to encourage other schools to also participate in STEM.
Okay.
For the bit of education as well, we are looking at implementing targeted activities for young girls, where we look at girls in the underserved communities or underserved areas, where we look at issues of scholarship and then mentorship, and then also providing infrastructure for these young people. We all know that most of these young girls are hard to reach. People don't really target them in their manifesto and then in their policies and all of that. So we are calling on government, we are calling on political parties that in this year's manifesto, they should look at young girls in the underserved community, give them scholarship. And also for Ghana, the scholarship is there, like everything is on paper for us, but how to implement it is always the issue. So we are pleading that when they put this in their manifesto, they should try as much as possible to implement it for young girls.
All right,
as
so
well.
before we continue, how are you writing to these political parties and imploring them to include these policies in their manifestos? How are you getting them to include these policies in their manifestos?
All right, thank you so much for your question. So we had a media literacy training the last time. I think that was 2 weeks ago, where we called on political parties. They were present, and then we presented a copy to them as well. And I believe your platform is also a very good opportunity, a very good avenue to communicate that to them as well. So we were assured that they were going to work on it in their 2024 manifesto, and we hope and believe that will really happen. All right, so we're also looking at employment. We believe that, or we know for a fact that a lot of people go to school, even those who are out of school, they learn trade and all of that, and then at the end of the day, they get nothing doing. Like, there's no concrete job out there. So we are calling on political parties, we are calling on government that this year's manifesto should look at the bits where they provide training in terms of apprenticeship and then internship programs for young people. So both of them focuses on in and then out of school for young people, to enable them to be readily available for the job market. So in areas of agriculture, in areas of technology and all of that. And then lastly, we are also pleading and we are calling on government that they should try as much as possible to encourage entrepreneurship among young people.
How do they encourage entrepreneurship?
Thank you so much. So for entrepreneurship, we realize that young people think that is for people who are out of school, or people who don't really know what to do with their lives. That's what people think most of the time. But in doing so, the government can have this business development training for young people. They can have mentorship programs for young people, for people already in the field, to mentor and then to advocate for young people, and also to show them the path to tread and then be successful in their career. So basically that's it.
Okay, so this is a personal question.
Sure.
I want to know what inspired your participation in this advocacy, like your personal reason why you joined this movement.
All right, so I grew up in a community where the rights of young girls and women are not respected. It's still happening in the community though, where lots of women don't have that bodily autonomy when it comes to making decisions on their own, and where a lot of, like, when you're a young person and you give birth, I mean, you are the how do I even say it? You are the boss. Like, it shows you're a woman. So it's one of the things, or those are the things which really inspire me to advocate for young women and girls, and then also give them that education, information, and then the empowerment bit.
All right, that's very motivational, and I'm sure you would make a very substantial impact with your advocacy. Thank you so much for being here with us here on the InFocus segment.
Okay, thank you too.
You're welcome. So we have interacted with the project manager of the She Leads project and one of the advocates who has told us everything we need to know about their projects and their impact in their various communities. And we are here again to interact with one other advocate, and so we will get right into the conversation. You're welcome to the InFocus segment on Joy Learning TV.
Thank you.
Kindly introduce yourself.
My name is Awuntemiwepe Akulaga. I am a youth advocate for the She Leads program. I'm here to touch on 2 points out of the 4 that are on the policy proposal for
Okay.
the manifesto, the 2024 manifesto.
Okay, so before we get into that, I would want to know what inspired your participation in this project.
For me, it's that I grew up, we all grew up in a patriarchal society, and as a girl, I think everybody should be like me. I believe I'm privileged with the knowledge I have, and I have the choice.
Okay.
There are young women out there who don't have the choice, and I want to give them the privilege the same way I was born into a privileged area and I have knowledge. I want them to be in the same situation, and I want their children, all their young girls, future generations, to be in the situation in which I am, where they have a choice, where it's not something that's set in stone for them.
Okay. All right. So we'll get into your policy proposals for the various political parties and their manifestos.
Okay, so on the policy proposal, my colleagues spoke of the employment and the education part. I'm going to speak on the health and leadership part. On the health, it's still the same thing we've been advocating since last year, to take off the taxes of the sanitary pads.
It's actually disheartening, very disheartening.
Yeah, as a girl, it is disheartening, and I'm here. It's so expensive for me every time I go and buy, and I'm imagining what about the girls in the villages.
The Kayaye, who have
Even
no-
in Accra here,
Yeah.
let's not even go far to the rural areas outside Accra. Even in Accra here, the place where it's the city, there are people who can't afford it, and now you are putting a luxury tax on an item.
yeah, it's not a luxury.
Exactly, it's like calling toilet paper a luxury
Yeah.
because it's not a luxury. It's not something we can choose to do or
not.
not to do. It happens just the way we all urinate, the way we defecate. It's nature. So that tax was disheartening, but we are still advocating, we are still fighting for them to take it off. They told us they take it off, we are still waiting.
How did you go about that? Did you write to them? Did you visit their offices?
We
What
wrote
exactly?
to them and we had meetings with them on the taking of the taxes.
By them, you mean what
The
ministry?
Ministry of Health.
Okay,
Sorry, yes,
okay.
the Ministry of Health. We interacted with the governmental stakeholders, mainly the Ministry of Health
Okay.
and the Ministry of Finance. So this is where we are with it.
How far along are you? How is it going?
We are still advocating. So far, we have not seen them take it off.
So if in say 10 years it's still not taken off, what is your next step?
I'm not waiting for 10 years. That's not happening.
So, no, exactly. I want to
Hell
know
no.
what you would do to actually trigger a change in
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
So this year on World Menstrual Day, we took to the streets and we protested
Oh, okay.
against the tax. That is something we are doing. And if it continues like that, we'll continue going to the stakeholders.
Okay.
We'll continue knocking on their door until they do it.
Okay.
We won't stop. That's what I want to let them
All
know.
right. All right. So you mentioned health and then leadership.
Yes.
All right. So take us through the leadership aspect as well.
With the leadership aspect, it's about encouraging girls to also take up leadership positions. This is something that the government cannot do alone. Like the government cannot come and say, "Oh, become a leader for this, become a leader for that." It has to be a personal choice. But the problem with it is that most girls don't realize that it's a choice, that they can do it. It's like the way most girls think, oh, girls are always supposed to be nurses, we can't be doctors. But we can be doctors, but it's just that they are not aware that they have the choice to do so. Some may even be aware, but because of how they have been taught to grow up, they would think that it's abnormal. It's not something that they do,
Yeah.
or they can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's not true. So you need to open their eyes. This is something governmental stakeholders must take part in. Parents, every single person must take part in to make it happen. Tell them that you can do it. Show them. So let them see women in these positions, leadership positions.
But the problem is there are few women, very few
women
in leadership positions.
especially in Ghana and in Africa,
Yes. So there's not many examples of them to
Examples.
show.
to show
So how?
or even to interact with.
Yes.
So with there was the affirmative action bill, which has still not been passed yet. It speaks about having the quotas for
Yes.
leadership positions,
Yes.
even in parliament, making women 30% of that. That affirmative action bill has not been passed, and 30% currently it's less than.
Yes.
We have very
15%,
few.
I
Exactly,
think,
that's
of
not
parliamentarians
15%.
are females.
So we
Okay.
need
So-
more of them in the parliament. Obviously, even because we are not many in the parliament, it affects the problem of the tax.
Yes, it does. Okay, so getting into the problem of leadership with women in leadership and whatnot, I think it would, the basic of it, the primary function or the primary reason would be the political parties in themselves. If they are able to recruit more women for, you know, candidacy for positions.
Yes.
And so you mentioned that you wanted these policy proposals to be included in the manifestos of political parties. How are you
Yes.
going about that? How are you?
So recently we had a media literacy program, which many of my colleagues and I attended, and the representatives of the two main political parties in our country, the NPP and the NDC, had representatives there
Okay.
who accepted our policy proposals.
Okay.
They took it and they said they are going to take it into consideration and add it to their manifesto. We are hoping they actually do it.
What would happen if they do not?
If I'll come to their houses, I would fight them if it doesn't happen. This is we are in this day and age. This is something we should not be begging for.
Yeah.
It's something that should be there. They should even be willing to do it, not us asking anymore.
Okay.
So we expect, especially those with many women. I know Nana, the vice president of
The candidates.
the
Vice president.
vice president
presidential
candidate,
Okay.
Nana Opoku-Agyeman. I know she's a woman too, and I'm really happy to see that a woman has gotten to the point of being a vice president.
Yeah.
The first one. That is
Hopeful,
hopeful
I mean,
vice
yeah.
president. I'm so sorry. Yeah, hopeful. All of this is hopeful since
Yeah.
we are not
yet there.
Yes, but I'm happy that she is there. So if she is there as a candidate, then even down the chain, there are more women.
Okay.
And that's something I want to see everywhere,
Okay.
not just there.
All right. So in conclusion, do you have any final words?
My final words are, well, what really is important to me is the menstrual hygiene area, especially for the rural areas, the girls out there who do not have access to it. It's not even just about reducing, taking off the tax, but even having just money to buy the sanitary pads, they can't afford it. Although to help the majority to take off the tax in the main city, if you go to the villages, it's not that easy. They struggle too. So I want the government or the stakeholders to take into consideration investing in reusable menstrual hygiene products. These products would help them not.
It's cost efficient.
Yes, it's cost efficient because the disposable ones is a monthly expense that comes to the girl, and it's not everyone who can afford that monthly expense. But if you invest into reusable menstrual hygiene products, especially in the high schools, in the rural areas, they will be able to reuse them for 2 years, 3 years, and it won't be like an expense all the time. I have to buy pads. Even one box is not enough anymore for some people. So investing into reusable menstrual hygiene products is something I want to put on the floor. All this has been included in our policy proposal. So I'd really love for them to make do on it. And I'd love to see in their manifestos coming this year before the election, some of the points that we have raised here. I'd be very happy if that happens. Thank you.
All right. Thank you too for being here. And I really appreciate your perspective and your vision for, you know, young girls like yourself in Ghana today and making life better for them and informing them of their opportunities.
Yes.
And yeah, all the best in your endeavors.
Yes.
All right, so that will be all for today on EduNews in Focus segments with me, Comfort Antiteria. I hope you have heard a lot and you have learned a lot and you are inspired by the advocacy of these young girls and the Plan International Ghana's initiative, the She Leads project. And I hope you'll be inspired to take on this cause of feminine advocacy or to an advocacy to empower young girls and women in Ghana to have better lives and to have better opportunities. Catch you same time next week. That'll be all for today on EduNews 360 here on Joy Learning TV. Stick and stay for today's episode of the Career Troll at 4 p.m. on Joy Learning TV and at 6:30 p.m. on Joy News. Many thanks for watching.